Welcome back to the deep dive. So I want to start today by setting a scene. And I think every single person listening has felt this, the one I'm talking about. It's Sunday afternoon, the light's getting that specific late day gold, you're on the sofa, you're physically comfortable, maybe you've got a cup of tea or something. But then this tiny little whisper starts in the back of your brain.
Tomorrow is Monday.
Exactly. Tomorrow's Monday, and all of a sudden the tea just doesn't taste as good, Your body is resting, but your mind has completely...
Well, that's the building. It's already at work.
It's already in traffic. It's
Right.
already answering those passive-aggressive emails from Friday. It is the universal Sunday scaries.
It's such a fascinating disconnect, isn't it? Because physically you are safe, warm, resting.
Yeah.
But mentally, your cortisol is already spiking. You're fighting battles that, well, they haven't happened yet.
Right.
And today we're going to try and fix that, or at least look at a very specific manual for how to short-circuit that exact feeling.
But here's the twist, and I honestly did not see this coming when we started the research. We are not looking at some heavy psychology textbook.
Yeah.
We're not looking at a lecture from a neuroscientist. To find the solution, we are doing a deep dive into English language learning materials.
I know, it sounds completely counterintuitive. Normally we're digging into, tech journals or business reviews.
Yeah.
But we have a stack of materials here, specifically from the English Leap podcast, and an excerpt from the English Echo. And these are resources designed for people learning English as a second language.
So just to be clear, we are taking life advice from a course that's designed to teach people phrasal verbs.
We are, and here's why it's so effective. When you have to explain a really complex emotional state to someone with, say, a B1 or B2 language level, you can't hide behind jargon. You can't use buzzwords. You have to strip the concept down to its absolute naked core.
That makes so much sense. You have to be simple, but profound.
Exactly. And what we found in these transcripts is, well, it's accidentally one of the best step-by-step manuals for handling stress and worry and burnout that I have ever seen. We basically distilled it into 4 simple paths to a lighter mind.
I'm ready for this. I have to admit, I have a bit of a rain cloud brain sometimes. I'll wake up and I'm just gloomy. So I am very ready for this. But I have to ask, is this just going to be think positive?
No.
Because if the advice is just smile, I might throw my headphones across the room.
I promise you it's not just smile. That's what I loved about it. It's not about toxic positivity. It's about mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with a concept they call the internal switch.
Okay, the internal switch, what does that mean?
The source material introduces this scenario called the gray day. The host describes waking up and realizing nothing is actually wrong.
Right.
Her job is the same, her coffee's the same, her house is the same, but her outlook is negative. It's like a filter has just been slapped over the camera lens. Everything feels useless.
I relate to that so much. It's not that the world changed. It's that the lens you're looking through got dirty. You feel heavy, but for no good reason.
Exactly. And we usually think that heaviness is just who we are for the day. But she identifies a very specific culprit. She calls it giving your brain a sad breakfast.
Sad breakfast for the brain. I loved that phrase. But what does that actually look like?
Well, think about your morning routine. You wake up, maybe you're a little groggy. What is the very first thing you do?
I grab my phone. 100%.
Oh, what's on the phone?
Oh, usually the news. Or Twitter, sorry, X. And it's usually just people arguing or some disaster somewhere or someone showing off how perfect their life is.
Exactly. You are feeding your brain sadness and comparison and fear before you've even brushed your teeth. That is a sad breakfast. You're spiking your system with threat detection before you've even had a glass of water.
The source uses the term dwell on, right? I thought that was interesting, like sitting on a thought like it's a heavy backpack.
Dwell on is the key phrase. It implies residence. You're letting those negative inputs live completely rent-free in your head. So the solution they propose isn't to fix your whole life. It's a technique they call short-circuiting.
Short-circuiting. It sounds aggressive, like we're supposed to break something.
We're breaking the pattern. I mean, if you have a short circuit in electricity, the flow stops or changes path instantly. The idea is you interrupt that neural loop.
Okay.
And the source makes a really important distinction here. You do not try to solve your career or your relationship in that moment. You just change the next 5 minutes.
I think that's where I get stuck. I wake up feeling bad, and my brain immediately goes to, I need to quit my job, move to a cabin, change my name, overhaul the entire system.
That's the trap. The source suggests doing something almost laughably small. The examples they give are put the phone down, open a window, play exactly one happy song, make a simple breakfast, go for a 10-minute walk.
Okay, I have to play devil's advocate for a second. I'm stressed about a mortgage payment or a difficult boss. Does opening a window actually do anything? It feels a little like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound.
That is a valid pushback. No, opening the window does not pay the mortgage, but, and this is the crucial part, it changes your state.
Mhm.
When you're doom scrolling, your brain is in this tunnel. Opening the window, feeling the cold air on your face, looking at a tree, it forces your brain to process new sensory data. It short-circuits that loop of worry.
So it's not about solving the problem, it's about getting your brain back online so you can solve the problem later.
Precisely. You can't solve complex problems when you are in survival mode. The source uses this analogy of the mind as a garden.
I wanted to touch on this. It felt a bit cliche at first, tending your garden, but the way they framed it kind of scared me.
It is a bit scary. They argue that if you don't choose what to plant in your mind, weeds will grow automatically.
And the weeds are the negativity.
Yes. Evolutionarily, we are wired to look for threats. If you just leave your mind alone, it will default to fear and worry. Weeds don't need any help, they just show up. But if you want flowers, gratitude, calm, perspective, you have to actively plant those seeds. You have to make the choice to play the music.
So short-circuiting is basically just grabbing a little shovel and planting a seed instead of letting the weeds take over.
That's it. It's an active intervention in your own morning.
Okay, so that handles the general mood, the gray day. But what about the specific gnawing anxiety? The Sunday scaries aren't just a mood, they're usually about something real. I have that presentation, or I messed up that email.
This brings us to our second segment, managing worry. The source describes a state called spiraling.
Oh, spiraling? When one tiny little worry becomes a blockbuster disaster movie in your head.
The visual they use is fantastic. The host describes lying in bed trying to control the whole world from my pillow.
Ugh, that hit me hard. I have definitely laid in bed at 2 a.m. trying to fix the economy or wondering what a stranger thought of me 3 years ago. It feels like work, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels like if I just worry hard enough, I can somehow fix it.
That's the illusion. You feel like you're doing something, but you're just burning fuel. The source calls this trying to keep your head above water. You're just treading water, exhausting yourself, but you're not actually going anywhere. The solution they offer is the 2 circles exercise.
I've heard of the circle of control before, but walk us through how this English learning source explains it.
It's the stark simplicity of it. You just draw 2 circles. Can control and can't control.
Okay.
But here's the kicker. The host in the story realizes that 90% of their anxiety was living in the can't control circle. The past. Can't control it. Other people's opinions. Can't control them. The economy, the weather, the traffic.
All of it. Can't control any of it. It's so humbling when you see it written down on paper.
Yeah.
You realize you are bankrupting your energy on things you literally cannot touch.
Exactly. So here's the rule they established. This is the big takeaway. The rule is, if a worry falls into the can't control circle, you are allowed to notice it. You don't have to pretend it's not there. But you are not allowed to stay there. You must immediately move your attention to the can control circle.
But what's actually in the can control circle on a Sunday night? It feels like nothing.
That's the feeling of helplessness talking. But there's always something. The source lists things like drinking a glass of water, sending one honest message to a friend saying, hey, I'm stressed, sitting in silence for a minute, preparing your clothes for the morning.
So it's about moving from the abstract, what if I get fired, to the concrete, I am putting coffee beans in the machine.
Yes. They describe it as moving your brain from a noisy street, that spiraling traffic of thought, to a quiet park. The host actually visualized a beach, hearing the waves. It's a deliberate shift of geography inside your mind.
I love that. You're not ignoring the traffic, you're just not standing in the middle of the highway anymore.
Right. You are reclaiming your attention.
Okay, so we've short-circuited the mood, we've corralled our worry into circles. Now let's talk about ambition. Because the source brings up something really interesting about goals that, it kind of conflicts with the standard hustle culture advice.
This is a fascinating pivot. Usually you hear you should set big, hairy, audacious goals, 10x your life. But this source argues that goals can sometimes feel like an attack.
An attack? That is such a strong word. how can a goal be an attack?
Well, think about the grass is greener syndrome the source mentions. You're scrolling through social media, everyone's buying houses, starting companies, getting six-pack abs. Their grass looks so lush,
Yeah.
and your life feels like dry ground.
And then the shoulds start. I should have a side hustle. I should be fluent in French by now.
Exactly. Those shoulds aren't inspiring. They are weapons. You're beating yourself up with them. The host in the source admits to asking themselves, what am I actually afraid of? And the answer was, I'm afraid my life will stay this way forever.
So we set these giant, impossible goals out of fear, not out of inspiration.
Correct. And because they're born from fear, they just paralyze us. Yeah. So the solution is to make your goals clear and kind.
Clear and kind. I want to push on this a little. Does kind just mean easy? Are we just lowering the bar because we can't handle the pressure?
That's the cynicism talking. No, kind does not mean lazy. Kind means effective. Clear means your brain knows exactly what to do. Kind means you don't set yourself up to fail.
Okay, give me an example.
The source suggests, instead of get fit, which is vague and huge, the goal is walk for 20 minutes. Instead of master a new skill, the goal is learn for 20 minutes. Instead of fix my relationship, it's send one nice text.
It seems so small.
But that is exactly why it works. The source uses this stuck in a rut analogy. Imagine you're driving at night in thick fog. You're stuck. Do you need a map of the entire country?
No, I can't see the country. I can't even see the hood of my car.
You need headlights. And headlights don't show you the final destination. They don't show you 5 years from now. They just show you the next 10 meters of road.
I thought this was the most powerful image in the entire text. The headlights only show you enough to keep moving forward.
And that is enough. If you're stuck in a rut of depression or burnout, you don't need a 5-year plan. You just need to see the next 10 meters. That is what a clear and kind goal is. It's visibility for the immediate next step.
That reframes it completely. It's not about lowering your standards. It's about actually getting traction. You can't drive if you're just staring at a map. You have to look at the road in front of you.
Exactly. Traction over speed.
Okay, I'm with you. But let's get real for a second. We've talked about mood and worry and goals, but sometimes life just genuinely sucks. The source talks about breakups, loss, grief. You can't just kind goal your way out of a divorce. You can't short-circuit grief.
No, you can't. And I really respect that the source didn't sugarcoat this. They didn't say, oh, just bounce back immediately. They talked about the danger of brooding.
Brooding. It's a word we don't use much anymore, but it just feels heavy.
The metaphor they use is wearing wet clothes all day.
Ugh. That is visceral. I can feel that. Just cold, heavy, chafing.
It is. If you just sit in your sadness, if you brood, it's like you're sitting in wet clothes. You're not processing the emotion. You're just soaking in it. And the longer you sit, the colder you get. You start to shiver. It damages you.
So what's the alternative? Because if something tragic happens, I am sad. I am wearing the wet clothes.
The source offers a really profound distinction. You can't think your way out of pain. You have to live your way through it.
Live your way through it.
Yes. Thinking is static. Brooding is just sitting in the chair, replaying the tape. Why did this happen? What if I did this differently? That is the wet clothes. Living is active. Living is taking a shower. Living is walking to the corner store. Living is making soup.
It sounds a little like distraction, but it's not, is it?
It's not distraction, it's momentum. You are proving to your brain that you still exist in the physical world. The advice was, you don't have to run, just walk.
They offered a specific technique for this, too, for when you feel totally overwhelmed. The one-sentence technique.
This is such a great tool for clarity when your brain just feels like scrambled eggs. You take a piece of paper and you write, the problem is, and you have to finish it in one single clear sentence.
So I can't write a 3-page diary entry about how unfair everything is?
No, you have to distill it. The problem is I feel alone in this city. Or the problem is I'm afraid I won't be able to pay rent. Then you write down 3 small things to try.
And again, the emphasis is on small.
Tiny. Join a Facebook group. Text an old friend. Walk to a public park. The goal isn't to solve loneliness instantly. It's to move from, I am a victim of this problem, to, I am working through this problem.
That phrase, working through, it implies movement, doesn't it? It implies a tunnel that has an end.
It does. It's what the source calls quiet courage. It isn't roaring. It's just putting one foot in front of the other.
This brings us so naturally to the language itself. We've been talking about psychology, but we're analyzing English learning materials. And the vocabulary they chose to teach really reinforces these concepts. It's almost like the therapy is built into the language.
It really is. I mean, look at the phrase, the ball is in your court.
Right. Which we use to mean it's your turn.
But psychologically, think about what that means. Life serves you a situation. Maybe it's a terrible serve. Maybe it's a fast curveball you weren't expecting. You couldn't control the serve. But now, the ball is in your court. You decide on the return shot. It gives you agency back.
And bounce back.
Resilience. But notice the physics of a bounce. You have to hit the ground to be able to bounce back.
Oh, I like that. You can't bounce in midair.
Exactly. The phrase acknowledges the fall. It acknowledges the impact. You hit the bottom and then you rise. It normalizes the low point.
And work through, which we just mentioned.
It suggests that healing is labor. It's not magic. It's not jump over or ignore. It is work through. You have to go into the muddy tunnel to get out the other side.
It's amazing. We say these idioms without even thinking, but they contain instructions for living.
Language shapes how we think. If you have the vocabulary for resilience, it's easier to be resilient. If your language is passive, you feel passive.
So let's bring all this together. We started with the Sunday scaries, that feeling of impending doom on the sofa, and we've found 4 distinct paths out of that fog.
Right. Let's recap them. Path 1, the short circuit. Remember the sad breakfast. Don't feed your brain negativity first thing. Change the next 5 minutes with a happiness switch. Music, air, movement. Don't try to fix your life. Just fix the next 300 seconds.
Path 2, the 2 circles. Distinguish between what you can control and what you can't. If you're spiraling, get out of the noisy street of the uncontrollable, the news, the past, and move to the quiet park of the controllable. Your breathing, your next action.
Path 3, clear and kind goals. Turn on the headlights. Don't worry about the destination. Just illuminate the next few meters so you can move forward without feeling attacked by your own ambition.
And path 4, live your way through pain. Don't sit in the wet clothes of brooding. Define the problem in 1 sentence and take small steps to work through it with quiet courage.
And through all of this, the underlying theme is gentleness. The source explicitly says to the listener, the learner, you don't have to be perfect.
I think that's the message we all need on a Monday morning. We feel like we have to hit the ground running, be perfect, solve everything by noon, but really we just need to plant a few good seeds.
Which brings us right back to that gardening analogy. I think that's the most provocative thought to leave with today.
The garden of the mind.
Yes, I want every listener to visualize this. If you look at your day-to-day, the inputs you let in, the thoughts you dwelt on, and you assume your mind is a garden. If you did absolutely nothing to it today, what grew?
Probably weeds. Anxiety about the future. Regret about the past. The stuff that just floats in on the wind.
The weeds of the world. So the question is, what is the single smallest seed you could plant right now? Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now while you're listening. Is it drinking a glass of water? Is it closing your eyes for 60 seconds? Is it sending that one text?
That one small seed changes the whole landscape.
It breaks the pattern. And that is where all the power lies.
It's funny, we looked at these sources to learn about phrasal verbs, but I feel like I've learned more about how to be a functioning human being.
Sometimes the best life advice is hidden in the basics.
Well, thank you for unpacking all this with me. I'm definitely going to think about my headlights differently this week.
Me too. I'm going to go plant a seed or two.
And to everyone listening, thank you for diving deep with us, whether it's Sunday afternoon or Monday morning where you are. Just remember, the ball is in your court. You can change the next 5 minutes.
Take care.
We'll see you in the next deep dive. Goodbye.